Hello everyone. Welcome to this video on content boxes in HTML by Simplilearn. In this video, we are going to create the content boxes which are used in web pages for various purposes. So let's see an example of what we are going to create. So in this video, we are going to create something like this. This is the content box with the icon and the description of the content box. The icons here used is from the font Awesome CDN. So let's start creating. So I have my two files open, which is HTML and CSS. Let's add the standard boilerplate. We'll add the content boxes in HTML as the title. Let's link our CSS file. Now, inside the body, let's add a div class container. Inside the div class container, I'll create another div box. I will require 3 such boxes, so we'll copy paste this 3 times. On the style sheet, let's set the margin to 0 and padding also to 0. We'll set the font family to sans serif. Now, for the container class, we'll set the position to relative and we'll set the width to 1200 pixels, which is the whole width of the content box. We'll set the height to 300 pixels and we'll set the margin to 240 pixels and auto. For the boxes inside the container, we'll add the position relative and we'll set the width to 100. Let me explain you what this is. This CSS calc function is used to perform a calculation to be used as a property value. This is specifically used for the width of the div classes. It requires a mathematical expression. The result will be used as a value. So we'll be using a lot of this calc function here in this code. We'll set the height to 300 pixels minus 30 pixels. One property of calc function is that it takes a single expression as its parameter. The expression can be any simple expression combining the following operators: plus, that is addition, minus, that is subtraction, multiplication, and division. We'll set the background to #000. We'll set it to float left and we'll specify the margin to 15 pixels. We'll set the box sizing to border box. Overflow will be hidden and border radius, let's set it to 10 pixels. Just save the file and let's go back to the page to see how it currently looks. So you can see our boxes are in the proper places. We have the background black with the proper margin between them. Okay, so we have the structure. Let's code more. Now we need the icon. For that, we'll require an icon from the font Awesome CDN. So we'll add the font Awesome CDN to our page. So we'll search Font Awesome CDN 4.7.0. We are using the older version because it is more stable. So go to this Font Awesome libraries. Here select the version and copy the link tag. Go back to the page and add it here. Delete this integrity part. Now here inside this class box, add one div which will be named class icon, and inside here we'll add the link of the icon. So search here Font Awesome icon 4.7. Go to the first one. Here you can search any icon you want. Let me search for, say, information. So I'll go to the information and I'll copy this. Go back to the code and add it here. Now inside this I'll create another div which will be used for content. So we'll name it class content. And inside this I'll add one h3 info, and inside it I'll add some text. Copy this much from here to here. Now delete this whole part and put it inside p tag. So inside the p tag, add them. Yeah. So let's go back to the file and see how it looks right now. Okay, so you cannot see the icon here because it is black. Let's try to change the color here so that you can see the icon. So let's set it to FF0. Okay, so you can see I have the icon in place. This is the text that we have added to this content box. Now let's style this content box first. Set it back to 0, 0, 0. Now container.box.icon. We'll set the position to absolute. We'll set the top to 0, left to 0, and we'll set the width to 100%. We'll set the height also to 100%. Background will be #F00. We'll set the transition to 0.5 seconds, and we'll keep the Z index as 1 so that the icon will be visible. Okay, refresh. Yeah, you can see the icon here. Okay, now let's add the hover effect on that. So container.box.hover icon. We'll set the top to 20 pixels. We'll calculate the left to 50% minus 40 pixels. Width 80 pixels. Height keep it to 80 pixels as well. And let's set the border radius to 50%. Okay, so now that we have repeat. So now that we have added the hover effect, let's save and go back to the page. Now let's design the icon. So container dot box dot icon dot fa. Also, to set the position to absolute. Top will be 50%, left 50%, transform, let's translate it to minus 50%, minus 50%, and keep the font size to 80 pixels, transition 0.5 seconds, and we'll set the color to save the file, and let's go back to the page. Yeah, so you can see our icon has now bigger size, and with the hover effect it shrinks for text to be visible. Okay, now we need to add the hover effect to the icon so that the font size increases. For that, we'll add container box dot hover, and we'll keep the font size to 40 pixels. Okay. Now it's time to design the content inside the container box. So we'll set container dot box dot content. All the positions are absolute. We'll set the top to 100% so that when the icon shrinks, the whole text will be visible to the text box. We'll set the height to, we'll calculate it 100% minus 100 pixels. Text align center. Keep the padding to 20 pixels for proper spacing. Box sizing as border box. Transition to 0.5 seconds. And we'll keep the opacity to 0. Okay. Save the file and let's go back. Yeah. And you can see the icons are in the center of the shrinking circle. Now let's add the hover effect. Now when you set the opacity to 1, now the text okay, we have not designed yet H3 and P, so let's start designing it. So container dot box dot content H3. Pixels. Keep the padding to 0. Color and let's keep the font size to 24 pixels. Now you will see the text will be visible inside the box. So refresh. Yeah, you can see this is the heading of our this content box info. Now similarly, let's style the paragraph tag. So container dot box dot content p. Margin will be 0, padding will be also 0, and color will be FFF as usual. Save. Yep, we are almost there. Now we will design these two boxes with some spacing and effects over here. Now inside this, delete them. We'll copy paste the above code here. Yeah. So copy from here, div class container. We'll change the icon classes here. So for this, let's keep search as SARCH. Instead of copying the class by going back to the font CDM, we can directly add the class search here if you know the name of the class. And here we can add location. So the class name for location is map marker. Save the file and let's go back. Yeah, now you can see these things are here with the good content box. When you hover over this box, this whole thing shrinks and you can see the text visible. Now we'll add some styles, we'll change the color and we'll add one background here so that when this shrinks, the background color of the black changes. Okay, so we'll go back to our code. So to change the color of the box, we'll add here dot container dot box and we'll use the nth child property. So nth child 1 because of first box dot icon. So we'll keep its background to pink. Okay, and dot container box nth child 1. Its color will be, when it shrinks, let's keep it to orange. Yeah. So save the file, go back and refresh. Okay, so you can see we have the icons in places, and when you go click on here, so the hover effect shrinks this, and this is the pink in color. We have the background orange with some text here. You can see smooth transitions. So this is all for the content boxes in HTML. You can use different icons here using this font as awesome icon. There are several icons here, you can use any of them. Just make sure that the padding and the text are aligned in the proper places. So that's it for this tutorial. I hope you have learned something new. Thank you and keep learning.
Hi there, if you like this video, subscribe to the Simplilearn YouTube channel and click here to watch similar videos. To nerd up and get certified, click here.